Welcome back. So the possibilities are endless when it comes to exercising, but when it comes to choosing between running, jogging, swimming, or classes, it's difficult to pick what routine is best for your body type. So Dr. Danielson with Precision Spine Care joins us to help sift through the options. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're always happy to have you.
The issue with exercise is where to start, what to talk about. The first thing I will tell you is there's no way that any of us can possibly think about being healthy without exercise. So therefore, that's one of the key ingredients, and you can't. So let's don't spend our time saying, well, is exercise a good idea?
Right. It's always a good idea.
It's always a good idea, but is it that easy to do? No, ma'am, it is not. But I have been through all the different phases. So just like everybody else, I've started out when I was younger. I was very, very active in sports, and so I didn't think much about exercise. And then I figured out that I was a little bit too competitive, and I was making enemies of some of my friends playing tennis, and so I thought, you know, I need to do something like jog that doesn't really offend anybody. And then I hurt my back, and I went through that, and I started really seriously studying the various kinds of exercise that there are that you can do, with the idea of let's do smart exercise. Exercise can be exercise is anything where we move. If we're moving, we're exercising. And it's amazing how many of us don't move very much.
Right.
I'm not talking to you, Robert. but if you look at, if you sort of take the grades, the simplest grade is walking, getting moving, gardening, playing golf, being outside. Those are huge things to do, and I'm not in any way saying that that's not great. But if you want to take it to the level of optimizing your health, which also optimizes your happiness,
those endorphins.
You need to look at some of the major types of exercise programs, and a lot of that involves going to a gym. It doesn't have to, but there's some major exercises that you can do, and some of them are with weights, some of them are not with weights. You can get on treadmills, you can move all over the place, and there's several different types. I think I can go over those pretty quickly.
Sure. In
terms of going to the gym, there's really 2 or 3 kinds of exercises. One is what we call high intensity HIIT, they call it, high intensity training. And that means really going for it for short periods of time, but you're using weights in a controlled environment. And the second one, which is kind of sneaky how similar it sounds, it's called high intensity interval training. And I thought for a long time that was basically meant the same thing, but it really doesn't. High intensity interval means that you are doing one kind of exercise extremely intensely for a very short period of time. You give it all you got, and then you relax and let your heart recover. You can do that on a bicycle. You can do it on pretty much any kind of exercise, but that's the high intensity part of it. And then the other one is just basically what you would call low intensity, which has to do with going on a treadmill, doing jogging, things like that, and that's where it gets into cardiac rehab and stuff like that.
Right. Well, great. We're actually out of time. You went through all of the exercise possibilities in one swoop. Way to go.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Coming up after the break, we're going to take a